Okay. Hello and good evening, everyone. Apologies for this 3 minute lateness. It wasn't intended to be, so we really apologize about that. Okay, so thank you guys for joining in tonight. We have a very interesting topic to discuss tonight, and we have an eccentric, highly intellectual man, Mazi, the former Dogun, who is backstage right now and who will be coming up any moment from now. Mazi is a fantastic personality that I've known for quite a while, and you guys will get to meet him yourself. It's an interesting topic tonight, so we're not going to take too much of the time at all. We will be getting into this uh, any moment from now. Thank you guys for joining. Let me encourage everyone to share this video. It's going to be clean, it's going to be clear, and we hope to keep improving for you guys as we engage ourselves, as we engage each other on these very, what we think are GOC topics. Um, so, the VOS is on the increase. Well, that's what we're told. That's what the statistics, say. But we want to probe. We want to ask, why do people find themselves loving each other and then someday just saying they're no longer dealing? Why do people get to the point where they just tell themselves it's over, this can't work anymore? And it's almost becoming a necessary evil these days where people just want to move on. On the show tonight, we will be sharing facts with you. I have behind the scenes, Babadi is right there, expressing his phone and supporting this. Ibuka is coming upstairs shortly. So let me say a big thank you to everyone who has been encouraging us and trying to get things running. So without wasting too much time, I will be bringing Ufuoma now, who is backstage. He'll be coming up now. And then the topic would also show a whole lot of things will come up. So uh, let me invite Ufuoma here. And no. So Ufuoma will be coming up right now. Ufuoma will be coming up right now. Okay. Hello, Surface. Hello, Mazi Otumba Ufuoma, husband to Mary Tule Dogun. We can't hear you. Hear me? Okay. Can you hear me yet? Do you hear me? Guys, can you indicate? Oh, there are many comments already. Hello, guys. Please indicate if you can hear me or not in the comments section. Can you hear me? Ufoma, we can't hear you yet. Let me check to see if it's something that we have to do here. Swat, nice to have you here tonight. Swat, go and get dressed. I will pull you up, okay? Swat, go get dressed. I will pull you up. Ufoma, we can't hear you. Thank you, Josephine Taiba. Okay, so they can hear me, but we can't hear Ufoma. Let's hope that he's not just a like the gods, the village people of Delta are chasing Ufoma tonight. Ufoma, do you hear me? Ufoma Dogun, are you there? So it seems like Ufuoma can hear us, but we'll go on a short break. We'll go on a short break while let's see what my producers have here waiting. We've got a short break while we hope that Ufuoma is able to come up to discuss this with us. Ufuoma, are you there? So Ufuoma is talking, but for some reason we can't hear him. I'm trying to see. So we'll troubleshoot this. So before the, I don't know if my producer has something waiting. Um, Ufuoma, hi, are you there? Oh, this is supposed to be a very interesting topic tonight, and we're losing almost 10 minutes to technical problems, to technical hitches. Okay, so we'll play a video or a clip or something for us very soon, and then maybe we do sign language today.
You don't hear me? Can you hear me now? You hear me now? Can you hear me? But can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Okay, so the big issue actually, so the big issue today is we can't hear Ufuoma.
You still hear me up till now? I've changed to Bluetooth. What's that?
So I'll get one of my technical guys to call you. Maybe we get Ufuoma to be suspended for a few minutes, and then someone should call him. One of the guys should call him. Seems like Ufuoma is here. Ufuoma, you're good. Ufuoma, you're good.
I'm good now.
Praise God. Hallelujah.
Rubbish.
What's going on, man?
Praise God.
Get you. Your wife is the show already.
She doesn't have any other work. She doesn't have work.
Competition tonight. Welcome, Ufuoma. Can you hear me?
Other work to do. Yep, I hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me? Oh, they say they hear me now. What, can you hear me?
Ufuoma, say hello to us. We're waiting to confirm that you can hear us.
I'm fine. I'm good. Let's go. Let's go. Let's kick it. Let's jump into it. All right. Let's go. Are you sure it's not you that the problem now?
Well, good. Ufuoma, nice to have you here. Welcome.
Yep. Thanks a lot for confirming.
Yeah. Okay, so apologies about the slight delay in kicking this off, but we're gonna get to this right away. We don't have so much time. Ufuoma, a lot of people would want to settle a score with you tonight. People want to know tonight. This isn't related to divorce or the topic of the day. Why does Facebook keep banning you?
Mark Zuckerberg doesn't like free speech.
You don't like free speech for real?
That's all I can say.
He's given a platform to over 1 billion people to express themselves. That couldn't be very correct.
He keeps banning consistently just because you have a platform where you have people. So let me tell you the reason I was banned the last time. I saw a post of a lady made a post about a driver ran away with a gas car, and I think injured somebody, but there was that, so he ran away with about cars. And I wrote wicked and lazy Nigerian youth. That's it. And I was banned.
Okay.
Nothing
Okay.
more,
Okay.
nothing less. So it's either he hates free speech or he hates Igbo people.
Well, that is left to be seen. Some of us actually had
Yep.
concerns that you may not make it to this show tonight because
I
uh,
saw all the posts from the useless people. Bit of progress. I
anyway,
know. Because of them, you know, I had something to post today. I didn't post because of you.
so thank you very much. We
Just
thank
in
we
case.
on behalf of the crew, on behalf of everyone here, we're clapping for Ufuoma, who has behaved
Say
himself
me
so
hi
well
to
enough that he made it to the show tonight.
say me
Thank you very much.
say me hi to Ebuka. Ebuka is a fantastic guy.
Thank you. Ebuka, you hear that? You're wonderful. You're wonderful. Yeah. You're wonderful. Take it from others, okay? Fantastic. Wonderful. Okay, Ufoma, let's get to this. Ufoma, let's get to this.
Okay. Yep.
Of course, we do a lot of research here, and we have a research desk that has, they've gone through your wall, they've gone through your profile, they've sieved your views, they've checked you out very well. It's nice to know that you have a happy family, a wonderful wife, and I saw a beautiful picture of your wife today. You guys are loving up on Facebook. So, how do we marry a very happy Ufuoma and Mary versus the views, the very strong views that you hold that, well you're very pro-divorce. And so I'll just let you start off tonight by telling us why you are so pro-divorce. You want divorce for everybody. How come?
Yeah, so it's about look at the end of the day, it's about freedom. People should be free to do so. We can't say we want freedom of expression, freedom of movement, freedom to worship, then we constrict the freedom that people have to be in a relationship with whoever they want to be with. You can't compel people to be with the people they do not want to be with. So if, for example, I'm having challenges with this, yeah, at a point I might have liked that person, but now I don't so much. What is stopping me from being away? Typically, sometimes it is our relatives, sometimes it is religion, but the person that is involved is probably going through some major mental health issues because of he has been compelled to remain in that relationship. So, as much as it's possible, if you can stay, then feel free to go. Marriage, I shouldn't be by force.
Interesting. Thank you for that. I appreciate that concise answer to that question. Do you recognize or do you realize that it's easier said than done? Divorce is very expensive. Do you know that?
Yes, I know that it's very expensive. I have a friend presently that is going through it, and the last I heard, it's going to cost about 500K and that makes zero sense. It shouldn't be that expensive. Which is why I like the Hausa way. The Hausa way of doing it. Just say Kipuku and you move. It is only in the Christian circle that is expensive. In the Muslim community, it is just bam and you're on. There's no hanky-panky. So typically, the way Christian burial is expensive, that is the way Christian divorce is expensive.
Interesting. It might interest you to note that while we're talking cost here, viewers at home might want to note that there's a country called Samoa. Samoa is in Oceania, and in that country, all that a woman has to say to get divorced is "I do" to another man. It's not expensive. It's inexpensive there. Or she only needs to say "I do," or she needs to just get her husband to hear her say that she's no longer interested in the marriage. So let me ask you: religion. Do you think religion is contributing to the challenges of marriage?
I completely think so. I completely do think so. So first off, marriage, especially in the Christian parlance, permits me to read just this because a lot of people think that I don't know the Bible.
Please feel free.
Let me just read this small excerpt. Okay. Marriage is also a good gift from God for companionship, sexual intimacy, and procreation. Now, this is Genesis 1:28. Now, where one man and one woman are joined together in a lifelong, exclusive, holy covenant before God. This is from Malachi, Matthew, Hebrews, and the rest of them. Now, marriage mirrors the unique relationship between God and his people. This now is from Ezekiel and the rest of them. Now, the best foundation and God's intent is that married individuals be united in their faith. Now, whether you are Muslim and united in your faith based on marriage, but in Christianity, God's purpose for us is that we should be married. But the same Bible encourages divorce. So when you see people say the Bible encourages, typically the Bible says divorce should only be based on unfaithfulness. But well, if you look at it, typically they tell you that God hates divorce. That's the number one excuse that Christians use to justify why you should stay in a marriage. My argument is God forgives kidnapping, forgives rape, forgives pedophilia, forgives armed robbery, forgives our politicians that steal, forgives pastors, bishops, and co that sleep with small children, but cannot forgive divorce. I think that makes any sense to me. God is an all-forgiving God. So he will forgive you if you genuinely go to him and say, this man wants to kill me in this relationship, or this woman will probably poison me before I am done with this marriage. Father, Lord, I do not want to die. Forgive me as I move on to something else for my own mental health and for my life. I think God will forgive that person if you go like that. So I don't think that it is that God is that person that we say, okay, I forgive everything, but you that you want to leave this marriage, never stay there. No, I don't think God is like that.
Well, to perhaps support your view, well, not necessarily to support your view, we have prominent men of God who have divorced. We have, well, I don't know if I'll be offending some persons tonight, but I don't know if my producer has some material. Yeah, okay, good. So as you can see, we've got these are well-known people. Iginla, Daddy Freeze.
Is Freeze a prominent man of God?
I think he is.
Oh,
he
really?
may not be a man of God, but
following,
the Freeze is a prominent person in social.
He has a following.
Yeah, within social media, I think he's an influencer. He's a prominent person there. So you've got Chris Oyakilome, Chris Okotie, and you've got a number of them. You know, while we were doing our research, we encountered quite a number of them, and so the Bible really doesn't say, from what I know, from the little that I know about the Bible really doesn't say that divorce is impossible. It just gives it gives conditions.
The conditions, under which.
But it seems to me that the conditions that the Bible gives are stringent. Not necessarily stringent, but they are not. Stringent. They do not sufficiently capture the social realities we have today. Because you see, 40% of divorce cases usually are not for infidelity. It is actually for incompatibility. So the Bible doesn't say that you should leave your partner if you're incompatible. The Bible doesn't say that. The Bible is specific about infidelity. The Bible is specific about death, and a couple of So it's neither here nor there. Yes. So when you say that Christianity supports that, not many people would agree with you that Christianity supports divorce, because it's clear the conditions are stated, but those are not the conditions why people are divorcing today. People are divorcing for so many reasons. I don't want to put ideas, I just want you to speak to us. Anyway, so that's what I have to say about that. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. So let's look at some of the reasons why people actually divorce today. There's for me one of the.
Can we have the reasons up? Can we have the reasons up? Yeah, the reasons should be coming up shortly. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ufuoma.
One of the biggest reasons for me is domestic abuse, either verbal or physical. Verbal, mental, physical, whatever. For me, that is the biggest form, or that is the biggest reason for divorce. I basically can't stay in this marriage anymore because So I've had people that the husbands never touch them, but the attitude.
What do you mean by the husband never touched them? Be specific. Not everybody knows what you
No,
know.
no, no violence of any kind. He never beat them. He never
Okay.
slapped, not one single slap, nothing. But she is going through a major turmoil in that house. Number one, his sisters, not even one, sisters, come to the house from time to time to harass the lady for not getting pregnant.
Oh.
The man probably will just be, so that is for not getting pregnant. Maybe through no fault of her own. But the fact, what I keep saying to him is, this whole stress that your sisters are putting on this person is probably one of the reasons why she can't even take it. Because for somebody to take in, the whole conditions have to be right. But you are stressing this woman. Now, he doesn't beat her, but he does not chastise his sisters. Now, for me, for example, from day one in my marriage, everybody knew that these are boundaries. You don't talk about my wife to my wife. If you have something to tell me about my wife, tell me, then I will handle it. Maybe because my condition, my own situation is unique in the fact that my parents are dead. So I do not have those parent issues that my parents, but I have elder brothers. See, in my family, everybody basically, if my father used to say, when he said that, look, if you bring a broom, that you want to marry this broom, I will allow you marry the broom because it is your choice. So that's what is one. Then secondly, trouble with finances. I have a particular case where for me it's about low self-esteem. The guy used to be the breadwinner of the family consistently. He lost his job. She got about 2-3 promotions and she became the breadwinner. Or when he was just at home. Sometimes you can play basketball, come back. He was difficult for him to get another job. But because she was earning more than him, she would go to work early in the morning, come back at night, and he still expected her to cook. And this is a guy a broke nigger that wants to eat new soup every day. You can't be broke and be having pride. It doesn't work like that. You have to humble yourself. You have to humble yourself. Then the most important thing for me is lack of empathy. Because if you really, you will not, if you have empathy, the thing that you do not want to happen to you, you will not want it to happen to somebody else. So if you put yourself in that person's shoe, you will say, if this thing I'm doing, if it is me, will I like it? So that for me is, so it's not even love, trust, those things in marriages, they have, empathy is key. If you have empathy, you'll be all right. And most importantly, communicate.
Ufuoma, you touched on a point about, and these are all too often common examples where there's pressure, for cultural reasons. People, mounting pressure, sometimes, most times on the woman actually, for, lack of, children in the family, or what's called barrenness. Yeah.
Even if it is the man's fault.
Yeah, oftentimes that happens a lot. And so you are leaving.
Is that me or you?
No, that was me, because people always call. I mean, if I say I'm going to be live at 8 p.m. and I've made so much noise about it on Facebook, and then you're still calling. This is an uncle calling me. This uncle at least visits Facebook. Is it at this 8 p.m. that my uncle should be calling me? So, uncle, please let my phone be for the next, 30 minutes or so, sir. With all due respect, sir. Please don't call me while we're live. With all due respect, sir. Okay, so apologies about that, people. So I didn't lose my train of thought because I think it's important. See, are we not buying? Are we not? Is divorce not a problematic solution? Because here we are, we're trying to resolve stress, but there's no divorce that is stressless, that doesn't come with stress. Divorce has been seen from research to cause enormous stress. Look, stress that goes for 10 years, and the assumption is that, when I get out of this marriage, I'm going to find new love. People think they'll find love again. People have high hopes for what life will be. And then they get in and then they are hit with the social factors. People don't want to associate with you because you're a divorcee, especially even in a judgmental society like Nigeria. So here's the
Oh,
point.
yes. Yeah.
Are you solving one problem by creating another one? Divorce is enormously stressful, Ufuoma. What do you think?
It is. Okay, so we live in a society where we do not place significant importance on mental health.
Ufoma,
So,
don't be distracted.
like,
Ufoma, don't be distracted.
no,
There are many,
I am
there are
not.
many comments here.
I
There
am
are
not.
many
Wait
comments.
now.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not looking at the comments. So
Okay.
there are Nigerians as a whole. We do not pay attention to mental health. It's not mental health issue. So when somebody say, I'm going to speak to a psychiatrist, they'll say, like a friend of mine set up a platform where people dealing with mental health issues. The bulk of the comment there is that if I talk to a psychologist, they will say I'm mad. So that's the way we look at it. Now, the pressure that this person is under, just because, and the thing about marriage, Ogama says it every time, that marriage is not an achievement. It's society that makes it look like marriage is an achievement. Marriage is not, especially in the era where we are in. My mom got married at 16. My mom dropped out of secondary school and got married at 16. Wow. Her classmates that finished became permanent secretaries, directors. So they stifled her career path, her growth, what she could have become by making her marry that early. Because in our society, marriage is the ultimate this thing. Just because somebody divorces and moves on and is not married, and society is judging her, why is she bothered about people that don't feed her? Because, okay, let me tell you this. I know I'm not supposed, the person will get upset. If somebody very close to me
I will know you to get a lot of people upset. It's your forte. Go ahead, please. We're prepared.
She knows, I'll say it, I will mention her name. Very close, very, very close to me, was going through a very difficult time in her marriage. And the mother had, her biggest issue was, people are going to say, my daughter is a divorcee. And I called her, explained to her, which would you rather have? A divorced daughter or a dead daughter? You have to pick one. You can't have both. Because if this girl stays in this marriage, this boy will kill her. Then you will bury your daughter. Then the people that you are worried about, that they will say you are you are mother to a divorcee, they won't even come for the burial. So I do not, societal people, so people that will judge. They judge married people. My wife wore bomb shot to the compound. Our neighbor that is a redeemed worker with his wife, we are saying that why is she wearing that kind of shot to walk around the compound in our own house? Meanwhile, this man beats his wife at least 3 times a week. They are both church workers.
Do you
their
have
nanny, when they are going to church, they put their nanny in.
Do you stay by their door to measure to count the beatings?
No, it's because I didn't want to go and interfere, because the woman, she go come and disturb me every morning when I'm sleeping. She'll be praying that God is not answering, obviously, because the man is still beating you. When they are going to church, they will carry their nanny. This nanny is about 14 years old. You know the way SUV is. There's the front seat and driver's seat and passenger seat. Then there's the back seat. Then there's the third seat. They don't put her on the third seat. They put her at the back behind the third seat. Their children are in the middle seat. Church workers. Then these are the people that will judge you. Let them judge. Nobody else.
Superman, stay on course. Guys, stay on course.
Okay.
Superman, stay on course.
Yep, I am.
Yeah, you need to.
I am. I just answered you. Society will judge, but your mental health is the most important thing. Your happiness is the most important thing.
So there's something that I've observed. Divorce is not very popular in Nigeria. I need to state that very clearly. The stats do not really support that up to 1% of married people are divorced. We checked this stats.
Hold on. That stats.
You have
Does it cover both Muslims and Christians? Or because it's significant, it's important, we track it.
Okay, so
yes.
one of the things we checked for was, they controlled, in the research, in the MBS actually, they controlled for customary marriages in traditional areas that don't even get recorded. They do not even have records of thousands of marriages that happen in many parts of the country. So the stats, I must say, actually will be more for maybe urban areas. And I think the conversation about divorce is also somewhat urbanized these days. It's more, people talk more about. If you go to the villages, I think women are even afraid to even want to, step forward to say they want to get divorced. But education, socialization, well, I want to call it the social media revolution itself has also, I think, in a way, expanded the frontiers for ladies. So let me ask you, since we seem to copy almost everything from America and the West, do you think given the social realities we have here, the state of Nigerian societies, what should women and men who are going into divorce, what preparation should they have, knowing that this society will mess you up? I can bet it with you, some boards will not take a divorcee. Some positions in Nigeria would never take a divorcee. And there's this stigma, and it's still really, really strong. So what advice, for instance, would you have for a person or two who are considering that in a society like this?
To your last point, there was a time while I was in the agency, I wanted to have a cooking show for one of the, I think either Roy or somebody, I can't remember. And I proposed Kate Henshaw as the anchor for the show. Now, Kate is very vibrant. Kate is a fantastic cook. She can cook, die. So Kate met all the criteria, but the brand manager said no, because Kate is a divorcee. That's the only reason she gave me. Nothing logical, just an emotional reason. She doesn't want Kate because Kate is a divorcee. That's why she didn't want Kate. So she went with, I forgot who she went with, but somebody, I think Omotala or somebody, but somebody married. Now, in preparing for divorce, the most important element in a divorce is not the couple, it's the children, and what it will do to them for their parents to separate. And in terms of this separation, what happens to the children? How do you handle the parenting? And in Nigeria, for example, it's typically the man. Somebody very close to me those days, the husband, she came home, entered the house, met her best friend and her husband on her matrimonial bed, shagging. Guess who left the marriage? The person. He collected her school, collected her other business, and drove her from the marriage. So typically, it is the woman in Nigeria, especially. There's something that the owner of Avis said one time in Jos, and even though to me it smacked of uselessness, but it is the mindset of the average person. He said, if I catch my wife cheating, she's leaving my house. If she catches me cheating, she's leaving my house. So in that way, the woman that is going to suffer. But for me, the children are the most important element. There has to be that agreement and not every divorce should be bitter. You can divorce and still be friends. There's nothing that says two of you must always have this. You are no longer married, Rabi. So now you can be friends for the sake of the kids. So the children, their education, their welfare, that is the most important thing in that divorce. Secondly, it is the fulfillment and the happiness that both parties have from this union that has now been separated. How do we feel? Am I now? Because we've seen people that divorced before and come back and remarry, then divorce again.
Yeah.
Because what they thought before is not what they saw.
Okay, so
is the kids.
Ufuoma, let me take you a little bit to the stats. I don't know if my producer has the stats for us, and it's about second marriages. So, of course, the expectation would be, I'm going to leave this marriage, and I'm going to get another man who would love me. Hopefully. And that's what that's what a lot of the ladies expect, and that's what the guy expects too. Let this lady go. I'll find someone who's going to be better than her. But the point is, there's been more investment in the first marriage than the second marriage most times. There's more mental preparation. The second marriage is often reactionary. I don't know if the stats are there. Yes, thank you, My producer has the stats there. Divorce rate is 60% for a second marriage. It's pretty high.
Wow.
And 73%, yeah, 73% for a third. Yeah, I mean, I have to go check this out. This stats is about 7 years old. So if we're adjusting for marginal errors, we're looking at maybe, it depends. Let's just stick with this figure, for the sake of this conversation. 60% likelihood of a divorce for a second marriage. Ufuoma, what do you have to say about that?
I agree because
why do you agree?
Okay, so that person that I'm talking about, that the mother didn't want her to get divorced, got divorced, has met a fantastic guy, and she's extremely happy. Now, Bros, on the other hand, that was the issue with the marriage, got married to somebody else on the day of their introduction, slapped the person slapped him back. So this cool-headed person that he divorced, he thought that it was the same thing with this new Jaguda. So if this Jaguda is who now, you're getting fire for fire. You're getting fire for fire. It will lead to it. So the thing about it is, a lot of times you're not even, you have left this person and you rush into a new relationship and think that you just go into marriage. You have not figured out the issues that caused the divorce in the first place. Have you introspected and checked that, okay, this me, is this new me ready for this new commitment? Because if it was a financial issue that made you separate with the first person, are there no financial issues now? If there are family issues, for example, your sisters were disturbing this chick, what makes you think? Because we should, as much as possible, men, particularly Nigerian men, should try as much as possible to put their foot down and ensure that their relatives do not interfere with their marriages. Because for me, that is one of the biggest issues with marriages. They will be filling your ears with things that you should not be listening to. You say, I see your wife with one man for one hotel like that to live. When me I see, I'll take her. You see.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for those, jabbing insights we've been getting so far. We have barely 20 minutes to the end of the show. And we have loads. I mean, it's a very wide topic, and there's very little that we can, there's little that we can do tonight. We are fighting Sean Okinbaloye with his 8 p.m. political book on so a whole lot of people. But I must let you know that we have the viewership tonight is good. People are loving the engagement, and there's good feedback, for this. So let me say thank you for that. Let me encourage guys who are watching to share this video. We're hoping to build this channel to a point where we can bring real issues to the fore, and then we action them. We just don't want to talk. I don't like too much talk. I like talk and action. So if it means taking certain actions to get things fixed and corrected, we'll definitely get it done. So thank you very much for still being here so far. We still have a few minutes to dive into this. Now we want to get to read some comments. So then maybe we'll read 3-4 comments, and then you can share your views on some of the comments that are here. Of course, some of your guys, your regulars are here. Dogun,
you put the quotes by my favorites. You put quotes by my favorite pastor on the page. I love it.
She always has something to say about this. So
Dogun is very opinionated.
Yeah. In 30 seconds, what do you have to say about her view? This is what she says. Let's be honest here. The stigma is on women, not men. It's mostly a free ride for the men. She doesn't indicate if this position she takes is for, the context of Nigeria or globally, because I think the West is at home with divorce. So your point was 30 seconds on this.
I think it's more Nigeria, because I have never seen society judge a man for being a divorcee. Never once. It's the woman that typically gets it.
Okay, great. Okay, so what? So it's more. Okay, good. I will have a question here. Sorry, we have an opinion here from Mr. Hetty Dre. Okay, so do we have it up? Yeah.
Yep.
It says. I think it's up right now. It says marriage like other religions should not be do or die, which is something you started off with, and can be led by either party. But I need to say something about this. In India, our research shows that India has a peculiar case, for this. both of you might want a divorce, but an Indian judge can turn it down. That could be.
Even in Nigeria.
Sorry?
In Nigeria, yes. Nigeria yes, they can turn it down.
Yeah,
the judge will tell you that you should go for arbitration or settlement or whatever first.
Yeah.
Before you come back and do divorce. Yeah, you can take, yeah.
Oh, interesting, great. So we have there's a funny commentary I have here, which I'm going to put up. It's from a certain guy, Yinka Oluwakuishe, whose other name is Omoiko Pataki. I want to pull up his, because it's a rather funny comment. I'm hoping that my producer can quickly throw him up because we're losing time. All right, so we have it here. This is what Omoiko Pataki asked. You answer that question first. How many witches?
So the person that you are thinking is a witch might be thinking that you're a wizard. So it's a one size fits all matter. So are you sure you're not a wizard to somebody's witch? So check yourself. You might be the wizard in that setup, thinking that the other person is the witch.
Amazing. That's a philosophical way to put it. I mean, that's a very nice way to put it. I like that. Okay, so let's keep the comments coming. Let's share the video. We'll come back to the comments, quite a number of them. We'll come back to them afterwards. But let's get back to this. Ufuoma, divorce seems easy. You're an advocate of divorce under certain circumstances, but we leave out the social factors. Research has shown that children suffer a lot. The transition process for a lot of them is confusing because most times they don't understand why all of a sudden mom and dad who were together before all of a sudden now not together forever. It's understandable if it was a trip and that has to come back, and then that even adds to the excitement of that returning. But you get to a point where this guy just never comes back. The mom also never comes back. Whatever be the case, that family is just never together again. And it's been seen, that kids tend to suffer, quote unquote, along this period. So for children, do you think that marriage is, do you think that divorce should not consider that kids do suffer a lot?
I think more importantly for me is what kind of suffering were the kids suffering in the marriage, because it's not an easy thing to see father beating.
No, the kids are not suffering in the marriage. The couple are the ones with the problem.
If you are looking at your father, because this is my neighbors I'm talking about, the son is a very violent person. I've threatened with a knife before in my house. When he's chasing, I threatened him with a knife that if you try it again, I'm going to stab you, because he's violent. And that violence he got from watching his father beat his mother consistently. So I would rather that kind of boy is removed completely from that setup. Because if he grows up, he's going to think that it is the normal behavior for him to hit women. Because in everything I do for my kids, I try to make them know that, look, in my house, no kudos to me. I dated my wife for 9 years. We've been married for 12. We have never quarreled. Not say quarrel in front of, no, never quarreled one day. No kudos to me, more grace to her. It is her doing. But even if we did quarrel, I will never ever allow my sons to witness any negativity between me and their mother. Because it tends to make them feel like, okay, if my father can disrespect my mother, then I can disrespect my girlfriend. I can disrespect my wife. So they are brought up in a culture of respect to women completely, the way I respect your mother. So I would rather remove the kids from that toxic mix than watch them stay there and suffer that, because they will end up more damaged than if there was a divorce.
Wow. Okay, so here's the thing, Ufuoma. Should couples intending to divorce stay back for the sake of the kids?
I do not think so. I do not think you should stay back for the sake of the kids. I think you should divorce for the sake of the kids, but do it in a way that is mutually beneficial to the children. So if there's going to be settlement and saying, okay, I'll keep the kids for 1 week, you keep them for, because the biggest challenge with divorce, particularly for women, is the fact that a lot of times the men are the breadwinners, hence the ones that hold the purse. Hence, if there's a divorce, she doesn't really have the wherewithal to say she wants to take care of the children. So they typically go with the men. Now, these children go with the man, he goes to marry a second wife, and now their stepmother is the devil. And they are going through all sort of shit without their father's knowledge because the mother is unable to take care of them. So I think both parents should agree that, look, for the sake of these kids, yes, I know that I hate you to the point that I don't want to stay with you again, but I love my kids. And because of my kids, can we just be let's do something mutually beneficial for both of them so that we will, at least it will be a win-win for the kids, even if both of us are going our separate ways.
Okay, so I need to. There's something that might want to interest you, something of interest. The socioeconomic factors, always, come to play. And we did some research for this, and we discovered that there was a study by Harvard. I mean, in Harvard,
Mm-hmm.
and it showed that men who do not have jobs or men who work from home are more likely to divorce. The rate of divorce was found to be much higher for men with lower income, than forget about the Bill Gates and the big ones you hear. A whole lot more are guys who don't have, who are not so. So there's a socioeconomic component of this where men who stay home, men who work from home, are bound, or rather they are compelled to work from home or whatever, have to oftentimes find themselves, in divorce cases. Do you think that we should now be looking at, do you think that religion and government, civil laws should be really properly separated when matters of divorce is involved? And for instance, what is the business of government with two guys who say they don't love themselves? Why do they have to go through? And I must say this: divorce is legal in every country of the world, except in the Philippines and the Vatican. It is legal, like it's been legalized everywhere. Yeah, of course, different procedures, different rules, governing that process, but it is so legalized now. Do you think that government should withdraw from legislating on matters as divorce?
Well, only if they withdraw from legislating on marriages, because the contract. If there's a beginning of a contract, there has to be the end of a contract. So you and her both signed that paper, and two of you went to the court to say you are going to get married. Now you don't want to get married. That means you also have to go back to this same government to say we are no longer married. But to your point about people working from home, there's a man that has been married to his wife for 30 years, and COVID hit, and he had to work from home for the period of COVID, and today they are divorced. So they were married for 30 years. Yes, this story, I'll find the link for you. Happily married for 30 years, but because of COVID. So the thing about it is, apparently going to work every day, so you are away from that space. Two of you are not in the house together, so there are no clashes. Different. So because a lot of times, all this beef is about people not surrendering their ego. Is basically what it is. The people not surrendering their ego. So you say, I'm the man of the house. It's me. I'm the man. As if being a man is one. So the ones that accuse me is the one that say, I'm the head. Without neck, what is the head? The wife is the neck. Without the neck, what is the head is useless. Can't do anything with the head. So you're forming head. You're the head of the house. Meanwhile, you don't have money. You're forming head.
All right, Ufuoma. Okay, so this is how time really flies when you're having an interesting conversation. You still have the floor for a minute or two before we end the show, but we have some some interesting comment again that we will quickly, show up and then, let viewers at home, see. This is a moment that you didn't prepare for. Can you tell us what you think our friend Tony Farker would think about divorce?
I know Tony. Okay, so because Tony knows,
Oh,
Tony
sorry,
is very.
sorry. Please hold on. Okay,
Yep.
so I need a little bit of background to this. Tony is, I don't know, he's them Tony. You'd find on Facebook.
Yes.
We lost him
Yeah.
some months ago, and it was a very devastating blow for Ufuoma,
Yep.
close to
Yep.
spread, and a lot of us were actually trying to draw strength, from you. we were gauging you a lot, and then you were feeling, and it was a very tough period. I don't want to get emotional, but
It
what would Tony
was.
say about this? He's resting in peace now, by the
Okay.
way, so no issues. What would Tony say?
So let me tell you who Tony is. There's a female friend of Tony's that the husband was always beating her.
Okay.
Tony entered his car one day, drove to the house, and was ready to fight the guy. Tony was actually physically ready to fight this guy for beating his wife. So, and he had told the girl severally, "What are you doing with this bomb? Leave this." So Tony is a big advocate for leaving a relationship that's not working. So today, Tony's comment would have been all over, my nigga. The girl finally came out in Canada. Tony would have dropped more than 15 comments today here saying that they should go away, leave the marriage. And I know at least two. One is divorced. The other one is the one I said is going to cost her 500. That Tony was a major support system for. One of them, there was a day I posted something about Tony, and she responded that you are not taking.
What's going on? Ufuoma, is it you? Ufuoma, are you there? Ufuoma, are you there? Are we live? Well, I can't hear him. He's frozen. I wonder why. Ufuoma, are you there? Is he trying to reconnect? We have just a few minutes at the end of the show. Is it live? Could you please check? Okay, so Ufuoma is kind of off now. Then Tony, rest in peace, brother. Ufuoma, we can't hear you. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so while Ufuoma is trying to reconnect, we will. I don't know why he's I don't know why he's off. Ufuoma, you were off for a bit. Is Ufuoma okay? Let's add him. So Ufuoma is off.
Yeah, like you, somebody called me.
Sorry about that. Too. Okay, so we're rounding up. You were in summary. Tony would never have advocated state, so he would have seen divorce as a necessary evil.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so you have a very happy family. Why is it so easy for you to advocate divorce when we see all those beautiful pictures? By the way, I love maize chills. I love. There's a variant that I really love, and I'll come back to that before the end of the show. We have just a few minutes to go. So why do you have a fantastic marriage, and it is so easy for you to say people should go?
Somebody, the first post you made about this life, somebody in the comments said, "Is he a divorcee?"
Why is he having an opinion on? Yeah, I saw them too. I've got them crazy people. I changed it down with the
so I was like, okay, so yeah, you have to be a kidnapper to have an opinion on kidnapping. They have to be so basically, but basically because I have seen what happy marriages are.
Mm.
My brothers, my dad had 3 wives. My dad had 3 wives.
And never
Had
divorced?
20, 22 kids. Those days they divorced. Had 22 kids. Now, the thing that my dad was is only a Democrat. He can't tell which kid is from which wife. He never discriminated between brothers. So if this wife is cooking this week, there's a timetable for cooking. If this is happening this week for sex, there's a timetable for sex. So it was very democratic. There was no you are cheating this person by cheating this person. My brothers have all been married, not one divorce amongst any of my brothers. So I have seen happy marriages. So why should I want somebody to live in a happy marriage when I know what a happy marriage is and the benefits, advantages, the joy that you feel from being in a happy marriage? People one said one time that me and my wife are not, because we've never had make-up sex, that we are not exactly in a happy, it's not that happy. That we should scatter television, scatter laptop in this Buhari economy. Who will pay for it? I'm a logical lawyer.
Okay, so I think Ufoma, Ufoma is back. You were off for about a second or so. All right, great. Ufoma, let me.
Yes.
This isn't where I'm sure we're going to have to perhaps maybe do this some other time. You've been gracious enough to be here tonight. Thank you so very much
my
for
pleasure,
those.
man.
Thank you very much for the
Truly
insight that you have given. We appreciate your presence tonight. Let me say a big
Thank
thank
you
you
for having
to
me.
Let me say a big thank you to everyone who supported Ufoma, his wife who prayed very well for him so he wouldn't mess up tonight. Jason. and that's Ufoma right there. He's enjoying.
The network will go off.
Okay, so I think the way to put this is to say that if you can work at it, try.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I did.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ufoma. Miss Chills is in Bagada, and then they do deliveries. They do deliveries in Lagos. Fantastic! Or anything you drink that is healthy, call them, and I've had fantastic stuff with them. I love her stuff.
We are also in Abuja.
Oh, we're in Abuja.
Yeah. For now, operating from home, but just reach out to Mace Lagos or check us on Instagram at Mace Shields, Twitter at Mace Shields, Facebook
Instagram.
at Mace.
What's the Instagram handle?
Contact for that.
Mace Shields, Lagos guys. She does great stuff. Really great stuff. I mean. All right. Thank you so much, Ufoma. Thank you, everyone who was part of this. Thank you for being part of the show tonight. It was wonderful to have everyone come in. Thank you to the guys at the back end, Bukati, Babadi, and everyone. Oluti, too. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you so very much. Good night, everyone. Thank you for participating in this. We're out. Never end.